Okay, so here's a Ryobi 3302M, same as an ABDIC 9985 and an iTech 3985. We're going to do a quick troubleshoot on the ink ductor. The ink ductor is not working. So the solenoid that controls it is right here on the non-operator side of the press. I'm at the top of the press. And if you come over here and you can't do that, you need to rotate the press around until this arm is all the way to the left. So it releases this pawl right here from against that lever. So when it gets to that point, another human can go over to the operator side with the machine, just the power on, and this button on the left is your ink, your switch. Down is on all the time, up is automatic, only when the press is on impression, and this is off. There's two of these. Here's the first unit, exactly the same panel. Here's the second unit. So, with somebody on the other side of the press, if you go from the middle to down, up and down, this solenoid on that unit, on the second unit, I'm on the first unit here, but on that unit, should go up and down, up and down. If that doesn't happen, the first thing you can do is just make sure these wires, wiggle them, make sure the wires are on there okay. Have somebody check it again. If that doesn't work, next thing you can do is you can take this panel out by these four little screws, pop it off. There's going to be 3 wires on the back of there. And if your press has a compact or a crest line, you're not using this switch. So this switch, if this switch is bad, this will be a good switch. Take the wires off the back and put it on there to test it. I would actually recommend flipping them so that you're still using ink as the ink. Now, if that doesn't fix it, the next thing, down here in the bottom, you've got a control panel where there's all the electronics. A big one here and a small one here on the feeder. So the big one here, on the left side, there's going to be all these little relays, little ice cube relays. So there's going to be an ink stop 1. I can see it right there. Ink stop 1 is this one. And where's the ink stop 2? Ink stop 2 is this one. It says right next to it. You can see right in there. So what I would do is take a Sharpie and put a number 1 on that one and a number 2 on that one, just so you know where those are at. Now you've got some relays in here that aren't used. Here's wash 1 right there, and this says wash 2. You can actually remove these and then put them in place of these, because these aren't used. This is for blanket washers that nobody ever had. So this is virtually a brand new relay. So you can pull it out of here and pop it in here. Now when you pull these out of here, you're going to see there's a little foot right there on the bottom only, not on the top, but there's a little catch. So you got to pull this down just a little bit and grab this with pliers and very daintily pull it straight out. There's going to be 6 little feet on there. I don't know if I can do it with my hand. I can't do it with one hand. So you're going to pull that out, put it in the ink stop, whatever unit you're working on, and then you can rule that out. And the only other thing that it could possibly be would be, which would be rare, could be a bad wire down underneath here, could be a bad wire up on the actual solenoid. But those are the few things to check. Now, if you do have to replace the solenoid, what you got to make sure of is that when this is against, this is the ink ductor shaft, when this is against, the ink ductor is against the first idler roller, the hard roller, that's where you adjust these 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. These are elongated holes under here, and they're usually pretty tight. So you'll loosen those, and you want, when you just push this down manually, you want about 10 or 15 thousandths, 10 thousandths actually, about the thickness of a printing plate. This has to be moved freely. If not, this will never work and you'll never get it shut off. So That should help you diagnose your ink ductor problems.